The many people who spent weekend after weekend searching for the body of Kira Steger united again last night. Kira's body was found last month in the Mississippi River. Her husband, Jeffrey Trevino, is awaiting trial for her murder.
We will never have our daughter back, but at least justice has been done.
Joy, she's been missing now for more than a month, and police believe that she was murdered by her husband, but her body hasn't been found. And this morning, there's new DNA evidence that strongly suggests Kira Trevino's remains could be in the area of Keller Lake in Maplewood.
100% faith in the legal system. And I believe they did an excellent job, and I believe Kira would be happy.
A life that appeared idyllic, a harmonious marriage, a charming residence, and a future that had brimmed with potential, concealed a disturbing reality that dismantled the very essence of trust and affection. A young woman mysteriously disappeared, unraveling a complex tapestry of secrets, deceit, and calculated manipulation that revealed the predator who had been concealed in plain sight. This shocking tale of obsession and treachery posed the unsettling question: what had transpired when the individual one had held dearest transformed into the most significant threat to one's survival, leaving behind only murmurs of a concealed truth that haunted those who had thought they knew her best? Background: in the heart of America's iconic Mall of America, a shocking event unfolded on Saturday, February 23, 2013. Kira Steger, a vibrant 30-year-old fashion enthusiast, vanished without warning. Her failure to show up for her scheduled shift at the clothing store sparked an immediate sense of unease among her colleagues. Kira's reliability had always been her hallmark, making her no-show deeply troubling. As the hours ticked by, anxiety intensified. Her colleagues' attempts to reach her went unanswered. No returned calls, no responses to texts. The usual bustle of the mall faded into the background, replaced by worry etched on their faces. Born on November 19, 1982, to Marcy and Jay Steger in Des Plaines, Illinois, Kira had grown into a remarkable young woman. Her vibrant energy illuminated lives, touching hearts with her dedication, kindness, and infectious enthusiasm. To her family, she was more than just a daughter, a shining beacon of hope. At the Mall of America, Kira found her tribe working at Wet Seal and Delia's. Her colleagues became like a second family, appreciating her extraordinary gift, spotting hidden potential in others. Her own future looked bright, full of promise and opportunities. But in a fleeting moment, that brilliance was extinguished. Kira disappeared, leaving behind only echoes of her vibrant spirit. The woman who had made such an impact on so many lives, who had held dreams and aspirations within grasp, was suddenly gone. Investigation. The uncertainty became unbearable, and soon the police were informed. They launched an investigation that ultimately uncovered the disturbing truth surrounding her disappearance. Kira's loved ones were left searching for answers, wondering what had become of the radiant light that had once shone so brightly. Thursday, the 21st of February 2013, was a typical day at the Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota. Kira Steger arrived for her shift, exuding positivity. Her colleagues remembered her enthusiasm regarding a dinner date she had planned with her husband, Jeffrey Trevino, at an upscale restaurant that evening. Their passionate romance, which had begun 3 years earlier, had led to their marriage. To those observing them, they appeared to be a joyful and stable couple. However, beneath this facade, underlying issues may have existed. Although occasional disagreements likely occurred, the couple managed to keep them concealed from others. Friends, family, and co-workers remained unaware of any potential discord. By Saturday, the 23rd of February, Kira's absence from work had raised concerns. Known for her punctuality, her failure to show up was unusual. Worried colleagues attempted to contact her, but Jeffrey professed ignorance regarding his wife's location. He dismissed the situation, suggesting that Kira's disappearance was not uncommon, as she sometimes took off for a day or two, often turning up unexpectedly at a friend's or relative's home. However, this instance felt distinctly different. A sense of unease began to coalesce, hinting at a more troubling reality. On February 23, 2013, a blistering snowstorm swept through the city, heightening the already palpable sense of unease that had been building. Jeffrey Trevino's thoughts were consumed by grim possibilities. Had the treacherous roads claimed his wife, Kira? He fretted that her car might have skidded off the road, leaving her stranded and vulnerable. The notion sent shivers down his spine. Kira Steger vanished, leaving behind a trail of mystery. Her husband, Jeffrey Trevino, reported her missing, sparking an investigation. Detectives sprang into action, racing against time to uncover the truth. Jeffrey was interviewed, describing an ordinary evening with Kira, ending with her departure for work the next morning. However, investigators noticed discrepancies in his statements, fueling suspicions. They probed deeper, questioning him about Kira's possible whereabouts and hinting at an affair. The investigation revealed a deteriorating marriage, with Jeffrey downplaying their rows. As detectives dug deeper, the enigma surrounding Kira's disappearance deepened. The search for Kira continued, driven by determination to uncover the truth. Investigators remained focused on unraveling the mystery, following every lead to find the missing woman. Detectives scrutinized every move and remark, unraveling hidden truths and deception. To broaden the search, investigators shared intelligence on Kira and her vehicle with patrol units. Detectives converged on the Mall of America to verify Jeffrey's statement and uncover leads. The mall's vast layout posed a challenge, but its security setup offered hope. Detectives reviewed footage from February 21st, searching for anomalies. Unfortunately, nothing unusual was found. The investigation intensified, with every nook and cranny searched. Each frame of the video and security camera was assessed. Jeffrey's alibi was verified. He had met Kira after work, and they spent a relaxed evening at the mall. Kira's family was consumed by uncertainty and anxiety as the days passed. Driven by desperation, they gathered in Bloomington, Minnesota, distributing flyers with Kira's image and searching the streets. The investigation reached a critical point, with urgency growing to locate Kira. Her disappearance remained shrouded in mystery, fueling determination to uncover the truth. Kira's family distributed flyers extensively, fueling hope that someone might possess crucial information. Their relentless pursuit transformed the city streets into a backdrop for their appeal. A significant breakthrough occurred when investigators identified a surveillance camera near Kira and Jeffrey's residence. Cell phone records revealed Kira's intense relationship with Ryan Wendt, a retail manager. Ryan's involvement prompted essential inquiries and expanded the investigation. Authorities located him in Colorado, and his abrupt exit coincided with Kira's disappearance, raising suspicions. Ryan's interrogation revealed his final communication with Kira via text messages. Further investigation showed Kira simultaneously communicating with Ryan and Jeffrey, indicating emotional detachment from her husband. The complex network surrounding Kira unfolded, casting doubt on Jeffrey's alibi. Investigators tracked Ryan's whereabouts, exonerating him from suspicion. A comprehensive review of Kira's phone revealed clandestine communication with Ryan. Even after returning home with Jeffrey, their digital communication ceased at 11:44 p.m., with no further phone activity. Concurrently, a different investigative team had been tasked with analyzing footage from a surveillance camera located at Kira's neighbor's house. The camera had provided a broad view of the street, but its rapid rotation had complicated the ability to capture clear observations. As the investigators had persisted in their thorough examination, the mystery surrounding Kira's disappearance had become increasingly intricate. The brief glimpse provided by the surveillance camera of Jeffrey and Kira's residence had ignited curiosity. For just a few seconds, the home had been in view before the camera had pivoted to the right, leaving investigators eager for additional information. Jeffrey had described that significant evening as quite ordinary. Dinner, bowling, a film, and a tranquil night's rest. However, the video evidence had presented a contrasting narrative. At 2 a.m., Kira's vehicle had inexplicably reversed into the yard. The low-quality footage and constant camera movement had obscured vital information, yet one fact had been indisputable. The car had quickly disappeared into the darkness. The motive for this late-night excursion had remained ambiguous. Further investigations had unveiled an unexpected development. Jeffrey's alibi at the gas station had been corroborated. At 3:30 a.m., he had been recorded refueling Kira's car. However, what had transpired afterward had raised further questions. Rather than returning home, Jeffrey had taken a detour onto the highway, leaving detectives perplexed. His abrupt exit had sparked speculation. Where had he been heading? The investigation hit a standstill due to Jeffrey's ambiguous actions. However, a closer examination of surveillance footage revealed Kira's Chevrolet disappearing at 9:21 a.m. on February 21st. A missing person report was filed on February 23rd, sparking a rigorous search. 2 days later, police received an alert about a suspicious vehicle. Investigation of the vehicle led to a troubling revelation near Kira's workplace. Security personnel at a multi-story car park had grown wary of a parked vehicle which was identified as Kira's white Chevrolet. The vehicle showed signs of foul play, faint blood traces, ominous stains on the boot lid and mat, and Kira's forsaken handbag containing divorce court documents. DNA analysis confirmed the horrifying truth. The blood belonged to Kira Steger. The realization struck hard. Kira was likely no longer alive. Her family and friends were left in shock, sparking painful questions about her demise. What circumstances had led to her disappearance? As the inquiry continued, investigators remained focused on unraveling the mystery surrounding Kira's fate. Kira's absence remained a poignant reminder of the investigation's lingering enigma. Detectives focused on identifying the person who abandoned Kira's vehicle in the car park. The timeline unfolded like a puzzle. Kira's car departed her residence at 9:21 a.m. and arrived at the shopping center 20 minutes later. A nearby camera captured footage of a hooded figure emerging from the car park. Despite the chilly weather justifying the hoodie, detectives sensed something was amiss. The investigation yielded a significant lead. The hooded figure interacted with a taxi driver, entered the cab, and disappeared into traffic. Detectives identified the taxi firm, obtained the license plate number, and tracked the cab's GPS. The journey ended a block away from Kira and Jeffrey's residence. The hooded figure paid in cash, exited, and vanished into the neighborhood. CCTV footage showed the taxi departing and the figure reappearing 2 minutes later, wearing a hoodie with a prominent white logo. The investigation continued, driven by determination to uncover the truth behind Kira's disappearance. Detectives remained focused on unraveling the mystery surrounding Kira's fate. Investigators examining footage identified the hooded figure as Jeffrey, Kira's husband. Armed with a search warrant, law enforcement arrived at the couple's ordinary-seeming home, where a disturbing reality lay hidden. Forensic experts found dark red stains in the bedroom, with nearly 100 stains on the mattress. Evidence of recent cleaning and rearrangement was apparent, but signs of violence persisted. Luminol revealed bloodstains on the carpet, tracing a grim path from the bedroom throughout the house. Forensic examinations confirmed the blood belonged to Kira, extinguishing hope. Law enforcement combed through the residence and Jeffrey's vehicle, finding a gas station receipt linked to his credit card. Surveillance footage showed Jeffrey refueling and withdrawing cash, wearing a jacket with an emblem matching the hooded figure. This incriminating evidence led to Jeffrey's arrest at 39. His attorney advised him to remain silent, marking a critical juncture in the investigation. The case against Jeffrey strengthened, propelled by accumulating evidence. Jeffrey's arrest changed the investigation's trajectory. Law enforcement charged him, but needed one vital element: Kira's body. A resolute search party, police, Kira's family and volunteers, united to find her. As winter's chill waned, the search continued, driven by determination to bring closure to Kira's loved ones. The net had tightened around Jeffrey Trevino, and his future hung precariously in the balance. In late March, as the snow had begun to melt, a vigilant volunteer had noticed something unusual near Keller Lake, just a few miles from Trevino's home. A suspicious bag, partially concealed, had raised an alarm. Its contents had been chilling: a blood-stained pillow, shirt and bra. Forensic specialists had quickly connected these items to Kira, her DNA having been detected on each piece. The frozen lake had complicated the search efforts, but divers had courageously entered its frigid waters. Nevertheless, Kira's remains had remained elusive, leaving behind only unsettling questions. The investigation had reached a critical juncture. The case against Trevino had grown stronger, yet the lack of Kira's body had created an immense void. Justice had seemed within grasp, but true closure had continued to evade them. The search for Kira had reached a fever pitch. 4 skilled search dogs, trained to detect human remains, had scoured the lake's perimeter multiple times. Yet every lead had ended in disappointment. 2.5 months had elapsed since Kira's disappearance on May 8, 2013. Then, on July 25, 2013, a chilling discovery had shattered the calm. A lifeless body had been found floating in the Mississippi River. Police officers had rushed to the scene, and their worst fears had been confirmed. The water had yielded a gruesome discovery: a nude body, bereft of identification. Dental records had later confirmed that the body was Kira Steger's. The autopsy results had revealed a disturbing picture. Kira's forehead had suffered severe blunt force trauma, and her left index finger had been fractured. However, advanced decomposition had thwarted efforts to determine an exact cause of death. New evidence in hand, investigators had set out to reconstruct the events surrounding Kira's tragic demise. They had theorized that a seemingly innocuous act might have triggered Jeffrey's deadly rage upon their return home. As the investigation had continued, the case against Jeffrey had grown stronger. The truth about Kira's final moments had begun to emerge, painting a haunting portrait of a life cut short. Kira's hidden truth had been on the verge of leading to her downfall. Her refusal to disclose the damning messages to Jeffrey had sparked intense fury within him. The romantic exchanges had unleashed the darkest aspects of Jeffrey's temperament, and jealousy had consumed him. In a moment of uncontrollable anger, he had taken Kira's life. Jeffrey had used Kira's vehicle to transport her deceased body to the river, where he had callously disposed of it. His nefarious scheme had continued as he had returned home, discarding a bag containing Kira's personal effects along the route. The following morning, he had withdrawn cash from an ATM to cover his tracks. Jeffrey's calculated deception had aimed to create the illusion that Kira had left voluntarily, leaving behind a facade of false calm. With each careful maneuver, Jeffrey had believed he could evade justice. Instead, his every action had drawn investigators closer to uncovering the intricate web of his deadly lies. In October 2013, a pivotal moment in the pursuit of justice for Kira Steger's tragic demise had been reached. A jury had found 39-year-old Jeffrey Trevino guilty, albeit with a notable distinction. Kira's family had shared poignant statements, articulating their profound anguish and indignation. They had characterized Trevino as a premeditated offender, unworthy of compassion. Kira's mother had underscored the savagery of Trevino's conduct, drawing attention to the heartless manner in which her daughter's body had been discarded in one of the country's most contaminated bodies of water. Her father had reinforced this perspective, asserting that no sentence could have truly mitigated the family's grief. Charges. The judge had ultimately sentenced Jeffrey Trevino to 27.5 years in prison, with the possibility of parole in 2031. This prospect had offered scant comfort to Kira's mourning family. Although the sentence had initiated Trevino's accountability, Kira's relatives had remained unconvinced that justice had been fully served, a poignant reminder that certain wounds may never fully heal. Conclusion. This harrowing case highlighted the unsettling realities of human nature, revealing how an outwardly typical suburban existence had concealed a toxic relationship driven by jealousy, manipulation, and deliberate cruelty. The violent murder profoundly affected the family and friends of the young woman, leaving an indelible mark on their lives. Justice was eventually served, but the profound grief endured. This tragedy served as a powerful reminder of the severe repercussions of domestic violence. Her legacy has fostered compassion, support, and the prevention of similar incidents, and she remains eternally remembered as a life that was tragically extinguished by senseless brutality. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like this post to show your support. Subscribe to the channel and follow our page for more exciting content. Hit the bell icon to stay notified about our latest uploads.